In the meantime, our next guest is a mother of three who lost her home and business to the Palisades fire. Jamie Geller joins us now with her husband. Thank you both so much for being with us. We appreciate it. How are you doing? How's your family doing?
I mean, that's a loaded question, I guess,
Yeah.
right? We are alive. We lost, everything but a couple of things in a suitcase. So you revalue what's really important, but it's just, I think at this point, I don't know how many days in we are. I think it's just really overwhelming because you feel like you lost everything, but then so did everybody that you know. So
Yeah.
how do you mourn the loss of your life and then also everybody is mourning the loss of it's overwhelming. I think how I feel is overwhelming, if we want a one word.
And Michael, we have video of where your house once stood. Tell us, how are you coping with this? What are the next steps? What are your plans? I guess you're still trying to get your arms around all of this.
I mean, your correspondent said it perfectly. It's decimated. It's like she said, we are a small city. We're actually part of Los Angeles, but our community is kind of like a small island. It's kind of like a little island in the middle of Los Angeles. People, it's hard to get on, and people don't want to get off once they're there. And it's a small city, completely decimated. Markets, churches. Our home is gone, but and
I think the plans are we have to find somewhere to live.
Yeah, first steps are finding somewhere to live. You have, thousands, 50,000 people trying to find rentals. You have landlords, trying to price gouge, and listings that were once, 1,200 to 500 are now 10,000 and 20,000. It's complicated. It's complicated. I think we're still in shock, and we're just, trying to take it one step, one day at a time, one step, 1 hour at a time at this point.
And what do you want to hear from local officials? What do you need? I mean, I know you were just explaining you need a place to live, and you need people who are renting out places to live to not price gouge. But what can be done at this point?
That's exactly right. What can be done at this point? I don't know. I never thought, when we evacuated our house, I thought maybe 20% chance my house will burn. We're used to fires. We live, up a mountain. We're used to the fires and leaving. But I never even crossed my mind that my store would burn down. Right. So I don't know how. It's like we did sneak in on somebody else's press pass, and what we saw, it's like the things you see on the news.
It's as if
a war,
a nuclear
maybe
bomb.
Not nuclear, but a bomb.
It's as if bombers flew over the community and completely decimated the community.
How you move forward, I don't know. They couldn't save us. There wasn't water. How can they think they're going to move? I don't know what officials can do if they couldn't get us.
I was born and raised. This is a good point. I was born and raised in the community. And I remember, this is not the only time that the conditions were ripe for this type of wildfire. When I was younger, I remember when, weather, they had weather information. They would stage firefighters just preemptively in certain, vulnerable areas. Streets. They would just have engines on the tops of those streets waiting, and the first bit of smoke or any fire to break out, they were prepared, they were ready. They would get these fires out immediately. This just seems like a lack of resources, not enough engines, and for them to even, once the engines and the firefighters showed up, to not have water. We know for a fact fire hydrants were depleted, whether that's because they had been strained earlier, or they the actual reservoirs were just not. There was no preparedness. And
how are your boys doing? How are your sons doing?
they have such different personalities, right? So they're 17, 15, and 10. The 10-year-old is crying a lot. The 15-year-old is like, I don't care. It's just stuff. I just give me my phone and I'm good, you know? So that's refreshing. Most, the 17-year-old is also more bummed. He, I think, has the capacity at that age to understand the loss and the loss of our community, the loss of every restaurant they've ever known, their doctor's office, their school. Like, he can comprehend that, where the other ones are more stuck in, my house is gone.
We're a beach community. You know, we grew up surfing the beaches of Malibu. All the and our older son is a competitive surfer, and he's lost every surfboard that he has, you know, from his first surfboard. He's, you know, all of our possessions are decimated. We have 3 pairs of, you know, pants, 3 shirts. We have.
I forgot my own suitcase when we were packing, and I forgot it. And so I literally got to the hotel, the first hotel, and we got evacuated from that one, and realized that I had literally what I was wearing. And it was in that hotel where I watched my store burn down on the news. And then when we got evacuated from Santa Monica and we went more south, I got the news of our house burning down. So
we never would have thought that this would occur. You know, this is not like, oh, you were ready. Yes, we were ready with the proper documents and things, as if we had to evacuate
for 2 days.
And perhaps, you know,
but nothing like this.
Come back. We're in an area where you would never think that the fire would have actually reached a community.
You know? That's sort of like the way the Palisades works. There's like
there's a
Sunset Boulevard, right? And then there's all these streets going up mountains, and then streets going down to the beach. And I think the fire burned from the beginning to the end of the mountain on top, and then just roared down every street. So you had the gridlock, and people literally run. I was one of the people that had to abandon my cars and run to the beach. There was nowhere to go. If
your controllers have a map, I'm not sure if your producers have a map, but we are part of the Santa Monica Conservancy mountain range, and our community is sort of at the base of that before the beach, and you would never think that the fire would have torn up the entire Santa Monica Santa Monica Mountain Conservancy. It's insane that it would actually have gotten down to the community.
I've been out there, and I've hiked in those hills. I was just there in October, and it's staggering to me, just as somebody who loves LA and has been out there many times, to see what has taken place. But in the meantime, Jamie and Michael, thanks for just giving us a glimpse into what is happening with you right now. If there's anything more we can do or say to help you, please let us know. Keep us posted.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
All right. Give those boys a hug for us. Thank you so much. All right, coming up.